Good evening, everyone.
Welcome. It's Friday night, it's 9 p.m., and we are back here on
How to ace your career.
So, guys, like you all know, we come here every Friday night at 9 p.m., and we ensure that we do something to add value to be able to ace in your career. We do this especially from mid-age professionals, people with 12 to 15 plus years of experience on the challenges that they go through in their work life at this stage. Probably could be career stagnation, they would be stuck in the same company at the same job. It could be juniors are really rising above them and they don't know how to move out because they have been in the company for a very long time, or probably just done that and now they want to shift. So, probably transit from that role, that career, or going through some certain life stages and they don't know how to have a work life balance so that they can lead a happy and a peaceful life. All these kind of challenges is what people come to us. Well, who am I? I'm Nutan. I'm a career and a life coach, and I guide my clients to live a happy, fulfilled life and a great career. And
Yeah, I'm Dheeraj and I'm a life coach, I'm a business coach, and both of us put together, we create this company, ND Life Coaching.
So, guys, we have been doing, like I said, sessions for career. But then, one thing which is really the most important, subtle driving force in our life is emotions. And that is why we thought that we can use this entire month to just work and help you on how do you really create positive emotional states. Because no matter how great you are in your career, no matter how good financially you're placed, but if you're not in the right emotional states, you can never live a happy life and you'll become a nuisance value to people around.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's say you're a millionaire, but you're angry all the time. You're a CEO of a company, but you're upset, irritated all the time. Imagine what's going to be a quality of life. And that is what we're going to talk about.
So, we had done this poll on our pages and we were wanting to know what are the common negative emotions that people go through. And believe me, the highest poll response that we got was the feeling of frustration. On small little things, frustration can be caused. And if you don't know how to curb that, then it results into much more stronger emotions, and that changes or deteriorates the quality of your life. So today, since we're just going to focus on frustration and how do you move out of that and come into that peaceful state of mind.
Absolutely.
And that calm, serene state, I can imagine and visualize that situation with your legs folded and your hands out there and you're in your mind and you're really enjoying everything, right? That's the state that you need to be in, because frustration can really become a painful feeling. But what is this frustration all about? So frustration is actually
it's an emotional response to a situation where a person or an individual feels very blocked or choked, hindered, and is unable to achieve a desired goal or outcome. It arises when there is a perceived gap between your expectations that you have and the reality. Or, like for example, you expected to get a 50% hike or a 10% hike or so much of bonus, whatever, and let's say you expected 25%, you got 5%. Now that's where frustration comes. Or when obstacles prevent someone from making progress or fulfilling a need. Like you decided today morning I'm going to walk out there. You start walking and it rains, and then you're not able to walk. So
in fact, small little things also frustration can be caused. Like each day when I go, I feel today probably my boss will appreciate, or today probably my partner would appreciate the efforts that I'm putting. The smallest of reasons, something which doesn't fall in place what I was expecting, and that is
or today my kids when I go home would be behaving nicely or would done their homework and studies, and when you go back, it's not happened because you're expecting something else and something else happened. So frustration often involves feelings of there are three things. Okay, first, disappointment. What is disappointment? Nothing but something that you have planned, it doesn't go as per that, and the moment that happens, you feel disappointed.
And then, of course, that creates what? Irritation. Irritation over, like, one partner is used to reaching there on time, and the other partner doesn't really ever get it. That how does it matter if we are delayed by 60 seconds or 2 minutes? Nothing is going to change. and the irritation all the time. See, again, she's late or he's late. So over delays, over inefficiency, I expect my people to work like this, or challenges. So from disappointment, we start getting irritated.
Now we are irritated, nothing is happening, it's the same situation, and then naturally we feel helplessness. This is a sense of lack of control over a situation. In all these years of coaching, more than a decade, hundreds and thousands of people that we worked on, we realized that finally you reach the state of helplessness.
And that is because you feel not anything here is not going to change. My boss will never change. My child will never change. My partner will never change. This weather will never change. Puna will never change. Potholes will never change. It's all where you don't have any control over an external situation. So in essence, frustration is an emotional result of being unable to attain what you want despite your efforts. You've gone left in the morning with proper instructions, but when you've come back, things have not happened the way you planned.
So true.
It can manifest in, of course, like we said, mild irritation and then result into more intense anger or probably stress, which again can create challenges in health.
So frustration typically arises when there's a gap between expectation and reality, as we have already said that. And it can be triggered by various factors, including first, unmet expectation. So when things don't go as planned or anticipated, frustration often occurs, especially if someone has invested time, energy, and emotion, and when you don't get the desired outcome professionally or personally, it creates a hell lot of frustration. I did everything what he told me to do, but end of the day, he did not live up to his commitment, and I'm feeling so frustrated.
Second, lack of control. When you feel powerless or you're unable to influence a situation, that can lead you to frustration. And people generally, all of us, want some degree of control over the environment, right? This is how my house should look like. This is how my living room should look like. This is how my office should look like. This is how my peers should be. Something or the other, some kind of certainty that, yeah, this is how life is going to be in general. So when we feel that lack of control, that's where frustration comes up.
Third is block goals. So you've decided something to reach at a particular destination, and you start on the way and you meet so many obstacles and you are not able to reach there because there's so many obstacles that come towards reaching your goal. And these obstacles could be personal or professional. Frustration is a natural emotion to the response. What? And you just stop. Okay? That's what happens.
Then, of course, frustration comes when there is poor communication. How many times I told you? And that person gets frustrated. Why did you tell me so many times? Right? So that is where misunderstanding or unclear communication in relationships or at work can cause huge frustration as individuals struggles to make their needs or intentions understood. I've been trying to convey the same thing to you again and again and again. And the person opposite is saying, that's exactly what I'm telling you. Why do you have to keep doing this when I'm not interested, right? So there's a constant misunderstanding and the ball is being pushed in each other's court.
Unresolved conflicts. Okay, this is something, one of the biggest challenges I've seen. Lingering conflicts in relationship, whether personal or professional. You're just delaying, and then finally comes a stage where you lead to persistent feeling of frustration. Why this is not happened? Because you're just avoiding that conflict. You're avoiding, but you know what? You can't avoid it. So that's what happens.
I mean, I can tell you that there are certain people I'm sure you would be having in life where you would constantly have this feeling. The minute you see a face of that person, that's where frustration just spurts from your inner being. Then, of course, today's life that we are living, we are constantly under this pressure of times. There are deadlines all over the place. Deadlines at work to be met, deadlines in family to be met, deadlines for your own growth to be met, deadlines for your health to be met, deadlines in terms of financial goals. By this year, this is what you want. These deadlines, when there isn't enough time to complete these tasks effectively, that becomes an effective and significant source of frustration.
Perceived inequity. Okay, when someone feels They are being treated unfair or aren't receiving the recognition or reward proportional to their efforts. This builds, I did everything, but finally somebody else got the promotion because boss is very close. This is not fair with me. And that's what builds a lot of frustration.
Then, of course, overwhelm. Too many responsibilities or challenges at one point of time. And that makes a person feel overwhelmed and then frustrated because they cannot manage everything effectively. So, we all have a nature. You want things to be done in a particular manner, but you just can't handle all what has come on your plate. And that is where you keep feeling frustrated because you're not meeting the quality or the standard that you have decided to live by.
Absolutely. Frustration basically is a common emotional response to challenges, and managing it often involves recognizing the source, number one, and find ways to adjust your expectation, increase control, or change your perspective.
So, like we all just heard, causes could be different, but frustration can mainly be divided into two things. One, frustration can be internal, and second, frustration can be external. What is internal frustration? Internal frustration is caused when you want to do certain things, but you're not able to do. For example, you wanted to complete this presentation this weekend. Certain things happened, but you couldn't do it on time. Now, you couldn't do it on time because you couldn't plan it effectively. So it is somewhere you're feeling responsible for not being able to do the task in the given time that you had decided. It's possibly every day I decide I'm going to get up in the morning and I'm going to go there out and walk. And I don't know what happens when the alarm rings. I just want to relax, maybe catch just 5 minutes of sleep. And that 5 minutes becomes 50 minutes. And the minute I get up, I'm so frustrated and irritated with myself. So something which is internal, it triggers when you know something could be done better, that you could have bought better results. You miss that opportunity because of lack of your efforts, your planning, your skill sets. And based on what is causing this frustration, you can use these techniques to come out of that feeling and move to a positive emotional state. What is the first thing that you can
The
do?
first thing you can do is you can shift your perspective, which means reframe the situation. Ask yourself, if there's a different way to view the issue, instead of seeing it as a problem, can I see it as a hidden opportunity or lessons? This is something which I've done with my life, and I've told all my clients that what there is a possibility of an opportunity, because I truly believe every problem can be an opportunity for you to learn something or you to achieve something or grow. You change this perspective, you don't feel the same. And second, you also you can focus on what is in your control. The biggest challenge that people face, and they're unhappy because they always focus what is in not their control, and that's why they feel helpless, they feel choked, they feel frustrated. So you need to ensure that you identify actionable steps you can take, even if they're small, bit by bit, to improve the situation. This helps you regain a sense of control and reduce helplessness, like gym and swimming and this and that. Instead of that, why don't you do something which is very much in your control? Just go down and walk half an hour a day. That's it. I feel great. Instead of, I could not go to the gym this timing, that timing. Focus what is in your control. I can wear the shoes, I can go to walk, that's in my control, let me do that. Simple things, and shift your perspective.
Then of course set realistic expectations. Now I, as a coach, I'm telling this to you. You know why? I'm not saying dream small, I'm saying dream big. Have amazing ambitions, great aspirations. But when it comes to setting goals, look at your real situation. What is that you're going through currently, your life stage, your situation, and based on that, make small adjustments in your goal. Sometimes frustration comes from setting unrealistic expectation from yourself, right? This is how I will be able to manage. Internally it's not going to happen, but you don't just want to budge from there. So do that. First, set those bars a little lower. Maybe you're not in that stage currently to be able to do it. So make that tweaking. You will find time to do that. Then break those big tasks into small, manageable steps. That helps to reduce pressure. And important it is to understand that it's okay to not be perfect every time. Accept imperfection. It's very important to realize that joy and happiness in the moment is more important than looking on how could this have been done in a better way. So recognize that not everything will go according to your plan, and that perfection is not always necessary. When you become a little flexible with these things, that can ease frustration in your life.
Third, be a person who believes in problem solving. Don't be the problem maker. See your perspective. Focus on how can I solve. That's a way of life. Like all my life, I was just coaching someone 2 days back. He said, just there's so many problems in the work. I said, if the problem is over, your career is over. You've been hired here just to solve problems. So that should be your mindset. So what do you need to do? Break down the issue. There's a problem, just break down the issue. Write down the problem and brainstorm possible solution, even if they seem small. Problem solving can help you from feeling stuck to being proactive. And
in fact, Neeraj, when we were sitting that day for the session with our client, it was a team that we were coaching, and we actually, when we sought things out, we gave them a perspective. All of a sudden, when we dived deeper into that situation, they realized that was not the actual problem which they felt was a problem.
Yeah.
It was something much deeper and to do with nothing that they were thinking. So, when you sit and brainstorm, you also identify the real problem. And that is where you can see some amazing possible solutions which you never thought were possible because you were not really focused on what is the real or the right problem. The minute you're able to identify that, then obviously you can brainstorm some possible solutions. And once you've decided this is how you're going to solve it, then start taking small steps. Even a tiny step towards resolving an issue can help you relieve that frustration and give you a sense of progress.
Now let's talk about external frustration. Now these are caused by external circumstances, situation, or people around you. Circumstances that you don't have control over, or people who don't live up to your expectation. So,
in fact, Dheeraj, if I ask all of you who are listening to me right now, tell me how many people you have in your life that don't live up or they don't live up to your expectations. I think most of the people in your life, whether it's in your work life, whether it's in your family, whether it's in your friends, we have a much more, I feel, patience and tolerance, because we don't have any expectation in
very
friends.
true.
But all the other relationships, you do end up having expectations, and when that is not matched, that becomes a huge reason for staying frustrated throughout the day, throughout the week. So just think and put a smile on your face looking at the number of people you have in your life who actually don't live up to your expectations.
Absolutely. So here are some of the strategies that can help you to deal with your external frustration. First, acknowledge and accept your feeling, which means recognize the source. Take a moment to identify what exactly is causing your frustration. Is it a specific situation, person, or an unmet expectation? It's very important to analyze, because the moment we start analyzing, we realize that okay, it's not that bad. Okay, let me find out the reason why this is happening so that I can solve it permanently and accept the emotion that you're going through. It's important not to suppress your frustration. It's fine. It's normal to get frustrated. Okay, we are still not enlightened people. We're ordinary people. So it's okay to accept that. It's normal reaction, getting frustrated, and allow yourself to feel it briefly before taking step to address it.
So don't get frustrated by feeling frustrated.
Yes.
Right? Let it pass. And within a few seconds,
Absolutely.
then what are the other things that you can do? One of them, the most beautiful thing that you can do is practice deep breathing or relaxation techniques. So, whenever your mind is absolutely hyper, you're feeling all this irritation in your mind, just cut down where you are, just cut all of that and focus on deep, slow breathing. That will help you calm your nervous system. It probably could be inhale for 4 seconds, Hold it for another 8-9 seconds, and then exhale for another 4 seconds. Even that will work. And the best part is, when it is about breathing, you're actually doing it without anyone noticing you. So even if you're sitting in a meeting with your stakeholders and you're frustrated on why your junior didn't do certain thing in the way you wanted it, or why the client is again talking about same thing which we had discussed,
or your laptop is not functioning, or the projector is not functioning, there's always some mess up that's going to happen.
absolutely. So that moment, you can just do this without people noticing you. And you know, when you do that, what happens? These muscles which are so tense, they start releasing. And when the tension releases in the muscle, your body feels better, and you can handle things in a much better way
So true.
than in your frustrated state. If
Then-
you have a chance, this is the next thing that you can do.
Okay, you can take a break. That's very, very important. So step away.
Yes.
At times when you know you are in a situation where it's not helping you, if possible, just temporarily remove yourself from that frustration situation to reset. Just take a walk, get a fresh air, or engage in a quick activity that you enjoy. So many a times, I think there is the concept of 90 seconds, okay, that up to down, that whole chemical that releases and comes back again, it takes 90 seconds. So I probably tell people, just take a break for 2 minutes. And like, especially when we are into a group coaching kind of thing, or a family session, and when we see heated argument, we just say, okay, let's take a break now. Okay, let's meet again after 5 minutes. So somebody will go and smoke, somebody will drink some coffee, somebody will drink water, and they come back with a much better situation. So take a break. Second, engage in distractions. Okay, so watch something funny, listen to your favorite music, or read something uplifting to break the cycle of negative thoughts.
One more beautiful way of dealing something which is external and you're not being able to do anything about it is just express your feelings. So talk to a trusted friend or a family member who can provide relief. Sometimes they may even offer a new perspective, or simply because they are listening, it can help you process your feeling. So talking out to someone who can listen to you, who has the time and space, that's really very important.
Yes.
That you go there to talk when you know that person will have that space for you. Otherwise, that itself can become a bigger reason for
अरे तू
frustration.
मेरा सुनना है, तो अपना ही शुरू कर दिया, मेरा सुनना. So be careful about that.
And then, of course, if you don't find someone at that moment,
Yes.
you can journal your thought. Writing down what's causing you frustration can give you clarity, and it puts a distance between you and your problem.
Yes.
You start looking at it from the very different angle and perspective. I tell this to my clients many a times, that just creating this mess here in the head and not coming with a solution. When you sit and write it, all of a sudden you get some clarity, and you start looking at the same thing in a much different way.
The last thing that we can tell you is focus on the present moment. So, which means being mindfulness. Use mindfulness techniques to stay present and avoid ruminating on what have gone wrong, because that's not going to help.
Absolutely.
Okay, focus on the here and now rather than letting your mind dwell on the frustration, because if you don't do that, it will go on and on and on and on and on, and then it goes into anger, and then it takes you to a different level. So why not just be mindful? And grounding techniques, this is very simple. Pay attention to your senses, what you see, hear, smell, touch, and taste. So whenever I'm not feeling that great, I start listening to something which helps me. It really helps me. It really it's a beautiful thing that I do.
Sometimes when there is a huge debate, frustration is coming in, just breaking that pattern, just going there, giving a nice hug will change everything.
Absolutely.
Right? So our 5 senses are really very important to pull you in a...
Like, I know so many people, like I'm one of them. If I eat what I love eating, my mood just changes. It just takes me a different kick altogether. So let's understand, what are some actions that you can do on daily basis to take charge of your emotion.
So before were the strategies to overcome situation when you're going through them. This is a proactive way.
Absolutely.
That you will not reach frustration time and again.
Prevention is better than cure. That's what we are talking. So the first thing is cultivate positivity, which means Surround yourself with positivity. Engage with people who are positive, content which is positive, or environment that can uplift you. Positive social interactions and environment can definitely influence your mood. And celebrate small wins. You don't have to wait for something big to achieve. Like you decided, I'm going to walk 1 hour today, and you walk that 1 hour, celebrate, because you've not been walking for 10 days. You decided to walk 1 hour and you made it, celebrate.
It could be like you have planned to do exercise for 6 days. You ended up doing 4. Instead of feeling frustrated with yourself,
Yeah.
focus on that success that I could at least do 4 days. And then once you do that, the brain gets tuned to do it more because it's feeling great. Once you start recognizing that progress, you can start building positive momentum.
And this is my favorite, which is coming. Practice gratitude. Okay, because that's what I do. So whenever things are not the way I wanted, and even if whatever emotions I go through, I immediately start focusing on what's going well. What do I have with me? What's fine with me? So I immediately start shifting my focus from the frustration aspect to the things that I have that I'm grateful for. I have a lovely house, I have a lovely wife, son, and parents, and in-laws, and friends, and a beautiful profession. There's so many things. So I start writing down few things each day that can help shift my mindset from frustration to appreciation, the gratitude practice, and then affirmation. Use positive affirmation to boost your mood. Like there's a client of my coaching, he's a kid, he's just 20, and he's doing this affirmation for 3 months. That has changed him completely because he's repeating those things every day for 10 minutes again and again. Now he started believing and he's in a great emotional state all the time.
And then, of course, one common thing that we talk every time: engage in a physical activity.
Yes.
Exercise is the greatest way to release some positive chemicals. So, you all know physical activity actually helps to reduce stress and frustration. You know why? Because it releases endorphin. It's a positive hormone that is secreted in your body, and you feel better. Even a short workout or walk or stretching can elevate your mood. Second, if you're feeling stuck in the moment, like when I'm trying to write something, there are times when I just don't know how to get through. That's the time. Just get up from here, move out, chat to someone, think about something, just move out from here. The minute you shift your body, your mental state shifts. So that's something that you can practice on regular basis.
And the last thing, which is the most beautiful thing on life, is help others. I believe that the acts of kindness, there's nothing that beats that. Nothing. Helping someone else can shift your focus away from your own frustration, because many a time we are frustrated because we are so focused on our own self. If you don't want that, then just shift your focus from yourself to somebody else. And the moment you focus on somebody else, you help somebody else, you get a feeling which is so beautiful, and that is fulfillment.
So, guys, we all went very fast because I had to finish this off in the decided time.
Yes.
But you have an option to not only just listen to us live now, but it will be available for you to reiterate the same thing again and again. And as you keep listening to it regularly, that can become a way of life for you, where you can move from your frustration emotion, which comes in consistently, to a state of peace and calmness. And that is what we had come here for, to help you recognize that are you frustrated, and if yes, and that is a feeling that you go through multiple times in a day, then how do you move from there to a peaceful state of mind?
I know it's not that easy, but if you need any help, we are always there. So once